All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. It's Monday night, August 19th, the Monday after celebration in Nashville. And I did not have an e-shot today purposely because I didn't want to be too fired up for you on this call tonight. But I'm super excited. We got a great guest. Most of you know ISA millionaire Deanna Falchook will be our guest tonight. She'll be sharing her story. And then she'll kind of be going through the whole presentation with me. We'll both kind of just share different things. And it's going to be a fun night. So hope you're here to have some fun, but hope you're also here to get some information because we're going to teach you how these products work. So if you're a customer and you're really focused on the product side of things, this call is for you absolutely positively. If you're interested in making some money, we're not going to go into a whole lot of details, but we will share some of the freedom opportunities that are available, at least to get your products paid for. And then we'll just touch a little bit for those who potentially want to make a significant amount of income and change your family's financial future. So as we get started here, I want to start with this disclaimer because I think it's really, really important that you understand that at Isagenix, from the top up, we do things with total integrity. And Kathy Coover has been quoted as saying a couple things that I really resonate with me, and I hope they will with you. But number one, if it's not right for the customer, then it's not right for Isagenix. I think that's wonderful that the company cares more about us in the field, our customers, than they do themselves. It's got to be right for all of us. Secondly, having been burnt in the network marketing industry multiple times in her career, she set out to create a business that did network marketing right. Her goal and her vision from that perspective was to create more 6- and 7-figure income earners than any company in the history of network marketing. And so this disclaimer just says that the product, the income opportunity, the real results, we've got validation in both, but there's also no guarantees, except for our 30-day money-back guarantee on the product. It's a real business. You're going to have to work. It's not some get-rich-quick, you sign up and make money. It takes work. It takes effort. Both Deanna and I will share with you some of our successes and also some of our struggles because it is real, but the opportunity is real too. What was so cool for me was seeing that this past year, 27 people earned a 7-figure income or more with Isagenix. This is a quick picture of yours truly to show my personal transformation using these products. Now, in full disclosure and transparency, I had lost a little bit of that belly before I started using Isagenix products, but the final 23 pounds were 100% Isagenix products, no exercise. I was kind of the poster child when I went through this, did not exercise any more or less, and I wasn't doing hardly any to start with. Not necessarily proud of that, but just in my mid-50s, I just wasn't doing a whole lot of exercise. That's why the grandpa belly, that and eating too much. But with Isagenix solution, I found a way that I wasn't hungry. I didn't exercise, like I said, and I got down to my high school weight. I lost 4 inches in my waist, which was the most important thing for me because I wanted to get rid of that belly. And then it was later after that, I decided to start using the performance products and actually go to the gym because all of a sudden I had urges to work out that I hadn't had in a long time. Started working out, and my wife and I have been working out for over a year now. And literally, we are both in as good a shape today as we were in our early 20s when we were both athletes. As I mentioned earlier, Deanna has graciously agreed to join us tonight and share her story and kind of go through the presentation with me. And I know those of you that have been on multiple calls with us, I say this just about every call that, this guest speaker is my favorite, and they really all are, but she really is my favorite. She really has a spot in my heart forever. My first Cepeda Express event, she was one of the first people I met, and she just opened up her heart and just was so friendly. And then the next day to see her being the keynote speaker at the event, I wasn't used to that in previous companies I've been with. Typically, when somebody had made a lot of money and reached the top, they kind of stayed off to themselves. And that's not the way with any of the Isagenix people, but especially with Deanna. So Deanna, I want you to take as much time as you want. There are a lot of people that are live right now that have not heard your story. There's a lot of people who will be watching this recording that have not heard your story. So what else we get to tonight is irrelevant to me. Your story is the most important thing. So why don't you share with people your Isagenix story?
Well, Chuck, thanks for having me here. And I remember that day really well. I remember meeting you. It was really awesome. And I will say that I love what you said about the culture, about that's how Isagenix is, that we call it one team. I call it the Heartline team. And so that's really a great compliment to the company. I started, as you can see from this picture, I have 7 kids. So I have 2 that I gave birth to, and then 5 that are internationally adopted. And then there's my son-in-law, who is the tallest one there, who married my daughter. And so technically I have 8 kids. I like to include my son-in-law. But prior to Isagenix, I had no network marketing experience. And I really was desperate when I came into this business. And I will say that the business opportunity spoke to me, although it was the product that kind of caught my eye, because I had adopted several children, and my youngest, Alec, especially when we had just adopted him, really needed the nutrition. But I had to kind of go back to my kind of like my prequel. And I think a lot of us need to hear the prequels in order to be able to hear the amazing miracle of what Isagenix is. Prior to Isagenix, several years before, I'd been successful in the music business as a singer. I had a big band, but from 2008 to 2012, my business really crashed. Through that time, I had also adopted several, like 4 children altogether, but in between 2008, 2012, 13, we had burnt through our savings. But it was during that time when God called us to adopt a child in our lack. Like, we really had nothing, but we were called to adopt this child, Alec, from the Ukraine. And he was labeled invalid at birth. And, we were like, Lord, we can't afford this. But really, we just kept getting confirmation to go, to really get into the uncomfortable places in order to extend ourselves to really free and save another human being. And so when we went to adopt him, because somehow we were able to accumulate donations, because we had a big network of adopted families. None of us had any money, but we had a big network, and we were all kind of contributing. We adopted him, and when we went there, they told us they were really happy that we came, because they've seen children as healthy as Alec, he was 5 years old at the time, be transferred from their baby orphanage at the time, that 5 or 5.5, and after they're transferred, be dead within 6 months of going there because of rampant abuse. I tell that story, I tell my prequel, because you need to understand the power and kind of the creativity of what God can do with this company for you, this opportunity for you. So I brought him home. Things got worse actually for us financially, but we had the attitude that, you know what, even if he's at his worst place here in America, at least he would be alive, and we would be willing to sacrifice ourselves in order for him to thrive. So after he was home, I started researching nutrition while my family was struggling so bad financially. My kids qualified for school lunches, Medicaid. We had threatened for foreclosures and bankruptcy. And then it was the worst part. Right before I found Isagenix is that we were, for about almost like a year, we were supplementing our diet with food that had been taken, it was expired food from the groceries, given to the food pantry. Whatever the food pantry didn't want, we added this to our diet, which meant I was feeding my kids expired birthday cake for breakfast while I was studying nutrition online. But I was overweight. I wasn't feeling great. So I just prayed. I was desperate. I didn't like the situation I was in. I was so depressed. And then I just called out to God. And it was like a short time after, I found out about Isagenix, and I had no money to invest, except that I borrowed the money because I had a feeling, when you say a snotty prayer and an opportunity comes, really to take some time and look at it and go all in. And so I just had this feeling. I was like, how is it that I could be praying? I already knew about weird things about the shake. I knew I was looking for a shake that had unddenatured whey because I had been researching. I knew that I needed a shake that had glutathione, alpha-lactobumin, things I don't even tell people because it's too nerdy. But I knew these things. And when I looked at the label, I was like, this is too much of sort of really a miracle for me. So I borrowed the money knowing that I could return the products. And then I asked questions about business because I realized I had to pay it back. So Chuck, what I did was I started to share with my friends who had contributed to this adoption. We had contributed to so many adoptions, like literally $10 here, $15 there. This is what we did for several years. And my first friend, who had 15 kids, her name was Carolyn, she was like all about it. We both needed to lose weight, and we realized our kids needed to eat better. And on top of that, a spark of genius came to me. I realized that none of us had money post-adoption. In other words, we didn't have any kind of financial support after the kids got home. I was a case in point. We lost everything. After adopting 5 kids, we were struggling. So what happened is we just hit the ground running. We started to share with people. I started a group called Isagenix, and the compensation plan started to work. I was grasping the compensation plan. And then as luck would have it, it's not luck, it's a miracle, I would be in this team that was a well-prayed up team that really wanted to always give the honor to God. And it was just so perfect that I was in this team. And so I earned $100,000 in 6 months. Income disclaimer has already been said. But I earned $1 million in 3 years, and my life was changed. And the best lesson was, like I said, we literally would have lived a rough life to save one child. We were willing seriously to kind of have to continue to figure it out and make sure that this child was safe and alive, because we believed that God had called us to it. But the truth is that we were blessed. We never would have found Isagenix had we not adopted him, because we were looking specifically for him, and it really helped our entire family. So the compensation plan worked and the product line worked for us, and here we are 6 years later making, I've made well over $1 million, and it's just been a blessing. It's been the most amazing thing ever.
Deanna, I never get tired of hearing your story, and I really always appreciate being able to share your story with new people, because it really resonates. I mean, we said a disclaimer earlier, hardly anybody makes that much money that fast. But where you came from and where you have gone, and it hasn't been all up, no downs. It's ups and downs in business. But what a great success story, and so proud to be partnering up with you. So let's get back to our presentation. Let's kind of go through this together. But one of the things that really impressed me in Nashville at Celebration, and I've been impressed with this all along, but especially this time, was the science behind these products. And to see the next level of scientists coming into the company, starting at the top. Travis Ogden, our CEO, went out and specifically recruited Dr. Plant. And I know that sounds funny, Dr. Plant and this company, but that guy impressed my socks off. I mean, to have somebody of that caliber leading our scientific team of 50 scientists and bringing our new products. And Deanna, you want to say anything about the science, but boy, that really got me fired up.
Well, I agree with you regarding Dr. Plant, but the one thing I really want people to understand is that this is not a cheap product. I tell them that this company goes all out, takes all the expense to get the purest ingredients, with all the integrities, and also to research this and go to the ends of the earth to figure it out. So I tell people oftentimes it's like the Tesla of nutrition. I tell them it's high-tech nutrition, because they've sort of, even though it's natural, like, Dr. Plant, and I think it was Dr. Paul, I think it was actually Dr. Paul Arciero was saying, like, people talk about clean eating, but there's an aspect of what they call dirty eating, meaning that the nutrients and the micro and macronutrients and everything that's still in here, like there's an aspect of that, that people don't really talk about. So they spend a ton of money. This is the top of the line. And also it takes the guesswork out for me. Like, I just trust what they have to say at this point. And believe me, I am like the biggest skeptic. I will interrogate anybody. Like, I interrogated the person who brought me into Isagenix. But at this point, after 6 years, I have so much confidence and trust in what they do that sometimes I'm not even researching it as much, because I just, after the fact, will look. I'm not. So anyhow, it's not a cheap product. It's a top of the line. You can't get this anywhere else. And we lead the pack. We were the first to talk about intermittent fasting and cleansing. We were the first to get these undenatured whey protein shakes on the market. We're the first to talk about telomere support. And we really are. We're the first now to really get packaged children's nutrition on top of that.
Excellent. We don't have time to go through all these solutions, but when Isagenix first started, it was a weight loss solution. And it has evolved into being a full nutritional company here, and it's just going to get better and better. Dr. Plant was telling us just a little bit about some of the new products that will be coming on quickly the rest of this year and into the future. So we've got several different categories of products. We've got the weight wellness, performance, vitality and well-being, performance care and beauty, and then financial wellness. My wife, Diana, and I have decided to participate in all five. We're both 58 years old, and so that vitality and well-being is the most important to us, but we participate in all five of these categories. As we go through some of these core products, again, we just talked about the science behind this. Dr. Paul Sardo did the scientific research on the weight loss system, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that particular study. I wanted to go into some of the particular products and actually get to the new product that Deanna was just mentioning. But this product right here is the core product. It's the number one selling product that Isagenix has. And Deanna, I'll let you kind of share, as you share with your customers, how do you describe this product to your customers?
The best.
Mm-hmm.
You could have, average or the better or the best, but this is, you want to get, I get the value pack, which has a few extra products in it, but that's what I got. They say that most people, whether they're starting for performance, as Chuck mentioned, or any of the other, solutions that we offer, it doesn't matter if you need to lose weight or don't need to lose weight. Most people start on the weight loss pack, and most of them start on the weight loss value pack because of the benefits of cleansing, the benefits of the vitamins. And so clearly, though, we have options on many different price points. But we really want to get people started right. And, some people will say, well, it's a financial issue. I mean, of all people, I should know. I mean, I had no money. I mean, literally, I had to borrow it. And we have ways to get people to get their money back. So why not get the best? And so the best would include, having enough shakes for you to have every single day, for you to cleanse for the month, for you to have the best drink ever in the Ionics. So, which is the de-stressor and an energy drink all in one, believe it or not, with the adaptogenic herbs. I mean, you get everything here. So yeah, I just tell people to go all in.
Amen. So this is the dairy-free version of the regular shake. This is the slide that you actually recommended I add today, Deanna. I really am glad you reminded me of that, because of all the new people I had at the event, when I asked everybody, what was your big takeaway? This was the number one takeaway with just about everybody. You want to just share with people how excited you are about this and why?
I'm so excited. This is, these are smoothies, the 2 packages in the middle, and it's just the beginning of the kids line that we have. I mean, these products, so many of them are great for kids anyhow, but they haven't been packaged for kids. My kids freaked out with excitement to see these smoothies. And so for people that are out there, I mean, you're getting your kids started in the day, and we're starting school. So many kids go, like especially teenagers, go off without any nutrition. So my teens all have an isolene shake, which is, what you saw the other slide. And then they'll have this for a snack. But the thing is that now you can really prepare your kids well. I tell them to definitely get this. I have like a kids pack that I've packaged together, but I tell them to start with a regular isolene shake, depending on the age in the morning, and then give them these snacks. And so there's nothing like it. I mean, it's packaged right. If you compare it to, for example, cereal, so the cereal has for 3 cups, 3/4 of a cup will have 10 grams of sugar. And none of the kids take 3/4 of a cup. They always get a cup and a half. So they're going off to school with over 20 grams of the artificial sweet, sugar, like the pharmaceutical grade sugar. These are all sweetened naturally. And the smoothies actually, even though it's not a meal replacement, the smoothie is not a meal replacement. The sugar is like natural sugar, and it's half of that. So I get my kids started with a regular shake and give this as a snack. But if you start to compare it, there's just no comparison. You can really nip the childhood obesity and all of that in the bud by really preventative care.
Thank you so much. So this is a slide I like to show. And, if this is one of your first times to watch our presentation, basically in America, that meal on the left is what a lot of people are eating. Very negative on the nutrition, high in calorie, cost. Look at that, about $8.47 for that meal right there, which is your typical fast food meal. And then on the right, you have our isolene shake as a meal, full meal replacement, maximum nutrition, only 240 calories. What a great combination. And your cost is about $3 per. And then I have some people say, well, I don't eat that junk food. I eat healthy. Well, you'd have to eat everything on that platter to equal the nutrition that's in one of our isolene shakes. So it's a great combination to get the nutritious value to your food you need. Next, Deanna mentioned the Cleanse for Life. And again, we're going to go through some of these pretty quickly. There are videos that go into detail about these different products. But, Deanna, why don't you just address the nutritional cleanse real quick for our guests tonight?
Well, it's an aloe vera based cellular cleanse. A lot of people will talk about, liver cleanses or colon cleanses, which are bathroom cleanses. These really are, they get to you on a cellular level, and you have different ways. It's basically you drink 2 ounces or 4 ounces of that Cleanse for Life, and if you're doing a full 2-day cleanse, then you'll drink 4 drinks of that 4 times a day. And basically, you can do a 2-day or a 1-day or a daily cleanse. The one thing that I will say is that there's more to it than that, but the most important aspect of this for all of you guys who are just listening for the first time to really grasp is that this is a replenishment system that also helps your body to get in a position to naturally burn off its toxins, right? So that's a natural thing. So intermittent fasting is something that Isagenix has included as a concept and a process in the system as far back as 2002, before IF was like the big buzzword. So again, the reason I feel so confident is that they're ahead of the curve in nutrition. So this Cleanse for Life is a really beautiful, botanically, has botanicals and all kinds of nice herbs, and is sweetened naturally, and it's amazing. It tastes great too.
And go right ahead. You were already on a roll. You just talked just a little bit earlier about the Isagenix, the Ionix. You want to mention what this has done for you?
Well, I tell people, and this may be my own description, I don't know if I've heard many people say this, I tell them it's like an internal GPS system, because it's sort of like adaptogenic herbs. What they do is they sort of can read, like when you're when you have too much, let's say, nervous energy. I'm trying to think of a compliant word because I was going to say a different one. It kind of will, chill it out and relax it. And then also, if you need the energy, it'll sort of give it back to you. So the Ionix is so great because it's just loaded with, again, some buzzword herbs that people constantly are talking about, which is, what is it, Schizandra, Eleuthera, all these like famous, ashwagandha is a big one that people are talking about a lot. So, it's just kind of loaded with that. It's delicious. You can have it as a tea. You can just sort of drink it, the liquid version, the powdered version. I take the little packets with me, and it really kind of makes you feel really nice. It's just a nice thing. And we drink it in the morning, like first thing in the morning.
That's a great way to describe it. Thank you. Yeah. This next one is just some targeted solutions. Again, for sake of time, I'm not going to go through all these, but the ones I love all these products, but the amped products on the right have literally transformed my body, and I've watched it transform so many bodies. My son-in-law just started using the nitro, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, you weren't kidding. This is phenomenal." And people in the gym, you can work out longer and harder. The recovery, like I said, my wife and I are in our mid-50s, and we're working out like literally teenagers again, and our bodies aren't sore for 3-4 days like they used to be 10, 15 years ago when we tried to work out. The heart there in the middle is one of Kathy Coover's favorite products, and therefore one of my favorite products. So again, for sake of time, we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail on these, but Deanna, anyone in particular you want to address real quick?
Actually, yes. I wanted to just mention real quickly the immune booster, which is something that does work for kids too. I would add that to the kids pack, which is amazing. And of course, I take the Brain Boost, which is a turmeric-based supplement, which is really just so great. It does what it says, it just sort of like keeps you sharp. But yeah, that immune booster, I think, especially this time of year when you have your kids, add that to their shakes or their smoothies. It really doesn't have a flavor, so you could just kind of throw it in there, and it's something you want to make sure that you get into your kids.
Thank you very much.
And yourself, but kids especially.
Now, I have favorite speakers. I mentioned that earlier. Disclaimer: they're all my favorites, but Deanna really is. And this product, I love all the products, but this is my absolute favorite product. What is a telomere? I've heard people actually doing some recruiting by asking people, "Do you know what telomere is?" and then explaining to them what has happened here with the discovery that Isagenix has come up with the Isagenesis product. This product here, John Anderson himself said it may be the greatest discovery of our time. So, Deanna, if you want to address this topic, this is, if I had to pick one product I would not live without, this would be the one.
Well, I feel the same way. And, like you said, people are talking about telomeres everywhere, but our company, we were really the first to kind of find a way to kind of turn on the enzyme, which is the telomerase inside of that telomere. And we have, patented equipment with access to Bill Andrews. So there's really no other, in my opinion, from what I've studied, you can try to get another telomere support product, but our Isagenesis is bar none the best. It is just, it's something that you want to get in. It's basically in a gel cap. And, you can take 2 in the morning and 2 later, or you can get the vitamins. They're in the vitamin packs that we get, depending on which vitamins you order. And it's amazing. Anyhow, I'm not going to, I have people complimenting things like my hair and my nails and things like that. And I attribute, I'm not saying that that's what has caused it, but the great diet along with this telomere support, I believe, is what has really helped.
Yeah, and same thing. We're not making claims that are going to get us in any trouble, but I will say this. It does not grow hair back because I'm still balding, but my hair was almost completely gray, and all of a sudden it started turning back to its natural color. And I had friends ask me, are you dyeing your hair? And I'm like, no, I'm just taking great nutrition. So that's one of the things that's happened for me. And then as I meet other people my age, they're like, Chuck, what are you doing? You look 10 years younger than the rest of us. So this nutrition is phenomenal, what it does in our bodies. One of the things you're going to find about the Isagenix products, if you're a guest watching this video or you're live with us, is it is a no compromise quality. And that starts from the sourcing all the way through the process to the end product. Isagenix does it like no other company that I know of. And I'm going to have a guest speaker in a week or 2 here. His name is Burcell Shaw, former professional basketball player, good friend of mine, but he's actually owned his own nutritional company. He gets into some insights into how most nutritional companies do it versus the difference with Isagenix and why we are absolutely the best. And a lot of it has to do with this no compromise quality right here. And if you want more information about the products, this was just a very quick high-level overview, although Deanna made it very, very interesting tonight. Just go to isagenixhealth.net. You can actually type in your topic, your question. We also, as part of the Cepeda team, have access to the famous Lori Morelli. Tuesday mornings, you can come on that call and get your questions answered. But isagenixhealth.net is a great place to go. As Deanna was mentioned earlier, her preferred pack is the value pack. And it literally is the best value for your money. If you want to try all the things that can help you have a great experience, the value pack is phenomenal. If you're coming in this as a business builder and really want to build it big from the beginning, the Ultimate Pack is ideal because that's going to give you access to a lot of different products that you wouldn't normally have exposure to. And if you're going to build this as a big business, you want to have access to all of them. There are smaller packs that are available. What we recommend is that you get with the person that invited you and let them know what your needs are and what your situation is, and let them help you decide what's best for you. Nobody's going to try to sell you a bigger pack than you need. We're going to sell you the pack that's best for you to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. With that being said, I just want to mention a little bit about the company. We'll wrap this call up here, but I don't want to shortchange you. I wanted Deanna to take her time telling her story, but I also want you to know there is a financial opportunity here. And I will not present the products without presenting a financial opportunity ever, because some people need to know that if you don't feel like you can afford the highest quality products, you can, because simply by referring other people, you can earn your products. You can eat for free. It's part of our program. You can eat for free. So our vision at Isagenix is to impact world health and free people from both physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest, most trusted and respected health and wellness company in the world. That's the company's vision, and it just gets better and better. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one here. Again, we've got other presentations to go into this in detail, but the Cepedas have outlined the keys to success in this type of business, and these are the 5 criteria. Prior to Isagenix, they had never found a company with all 5 of these hitting 10 out of 10. Isagenix does. I will tell you, personally, I have been the #1 incomer with 4 different small network marketing companies, and each time I did not have that criteria list, and each of those companies had failed me. Much like Kathy Coover in her experience, her 3 companies before this had failed her. Isagenix is the first company I've ever seen that does it right. So let's talk about your opportunity here from a financial perspective. It all starts with this model right here. This is the core. It's becoming a consultant. Everybody comes into Isagenix as a customer. If you want, and only about 13% do, you can become an associate. You simply go into your back office. There's a big purple box that says become an associate. And as an associate, you can now tap in to the compensation plan and earn income. as a customer, you can refer other customers, and the company will still reward you with a referral program, but they're vouchers instead of cash. And many of the opportunities to make money in Isagenix are not available to just customers, but you do get the referral bonuses, which are awesome. So this is the core fundamental in the business. It's simply you sharing with a couple other people. And I recommend every customer that comes in gets a couple of accountability partners, because you're going to have more likelihood of having success if you got a couple people doing this with you. And so it just makes sense from your own personal experience, but also by referring a couple of friends, you basically have an opportunity to make some of your money back immediately. So that's the you share. The next part, and this is the core from going from just a product share, product user, to a business builder, and that is taken to the next level, which we call manager. It's the you share, they share. In this simple model right here, when you share with a couple people, those are customers. When they become associates and they share, like in this model here, you can easily earn $550, $900, $1,000, depending on what pack your personal customers come in with. There is an opportunity here to get your products paid for in a very simple, short time frame. So this particular model shows the person becoming a manager within the first 60 days, making them a crystal manager, which gets them an extra $250 bonus. But all told, it's about $900. Now, this slide's a little bit old. I need to update it because the company has a program going right now where when you get your first 2 customers and become a consultant, like I showed the screen before, you're going to get $50 no matter when you do that. It's called Rank Advancement Bonus, consultant. But when you become a consultant in your first 30 days, which is pretty easy to do, instead of $50, the company is generously giving people $150. It's just a motivation for you to bring in a couple of accountability partners. The company's great. So Deanna, anything you'd like to share about the you share, they share? We're going to wrap this up by talking about cycles and how that is the residual income aspect to the business. Anything you want to share about you share, they share?
I will just add that, just to confirm what you're saying, that basically even though people can get their head confused about the compensation plan, basically this is just what you keep doing. You share, they share, repeat. Teach the other people to do the same. And that's what I did. I didn't know a lot. I just knew that I wanted my friends to use the products, and I asked them, who do you know? And that's how I was able to build, $100,000 in 6 months and $1 million in 3 years. So that's the core of really the compensation plan.
And the core to residual income is a cycle. One of the speakers I really love to learn from is Susan Miller. I think she probably does as good a job as anybody I've ever heard when it comes to talking about the compensation plan. And she talks about Robert Kiyosaki's quadrant and the left side and the right side, and going from employee and self-employed business owner on the left side where 95% of people reside and only 5% of the income resides. And then you got the right side where you've got your business owner, residual income, and you've got your investor where only 5% of the people reside, but 95% of the wealth. These cycles, in a way, represent your opportunity as an individual to move from the left to the right side of that quadrant. And it simply starts by building 2 teams, a right team and a left team. There's all types of advantages to this. I really don't have time to go into all of them, but I will tell you that if you can earn 1 cycle, you can earn 2. And if you can earn 2, you can earn 5. And if you can earn 5, you can earn 10. If you can earn 10, it's just a matter of time if you keep persistently sharing this with people, encouraging your team to plug in. Eventually, you can be making enough cycles to literally be financially free. But a cycle is developed by developing volume on your 2 teams. Every time your 2 teams hit 300 and 600 combination, you earn a $54 cycle bonus. And the first time you do that, you ought to really celebrate, because for the first time, you've personally gone from your own effort to a team's effort, 2 teams to be exact, and you're earning income off the volume produced by 2 teams. So Deanna, I'd like you to share a little bit about this, and we're about to wrap this up. But this to me is what got me fired up, is the opportunity to earn residual income.
I mean, when I got that residual income, which was at $54 for the 1 cycle, I celebrated. I was like, what is this? And it just clicked. And, residual income is key. And the one thing that I'll say, we're living during a time where it's the gig economy. People talk about the side hustle, and the other thing that Susan Miller says is that linear income is sort of a thing of the past, or at least something that people are kind of moving out of. If you're really looking for residual income, in other words, the kind of money that you make when you sleep, start building things. This is work. It's network marketing, but the way that the model is set up and why it's so genius and the compensation plan with this particular company especially is that you're going to be able to make money because the products are consumable and they have points to it. And so it's just genius. The whole thing is genius. It's the perfect marriage for the perfect business. Call the person that sent you here and let's call it a night now.
No doubt.
I'm ready to say, I'm just...
No, the first 2 years I was in the business, it was like every day I would look at Diane, we have the office together, and I just look at her and go, can you believe how ingenious this compensation plan, how they just motivate you to do the right things? We're not going to spend a whole lot of time. You want to do a screenshot of that picture, you can, but it's basically your freedom chart. Figure out how much you need to be financially free, and then that's the number of cycles you need to earn on a weekly basis to achieve that residual income. So really, it comes down to choices. You are where you are in life basically by the choices you've made or the choices you've let other people make for you. Now it's time for you to make a choice that can change the future for your family. Get back with the person who invites you. Let them know that you want to become a customer. And then beyond that, what you want to do is completely up to you, but know that there is a phenomenal opportunity here. I love this quote right here. If not this, then what? And if not now, then when? So with that, I want to wrap up and thank you, Deanna, for being with us. What a phenomenal guest you were tonight. You are awesome.
Awesome job, Deanna.
So fun.
God bless you, everybody. Get back with the person who invites you and come join us. We have a lot of fun, but it's a serious business too. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Chuck. Thanks, Chuck.